Maybe you should suit up. They'll barely see you.
All right.
Welcome back, everyone. That's a cue for me to our latest episode of the Video Game Book Club. This is going to be Black Ops 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Part 1. So this is going to be a short one, two-parter, because the game's campaign is not the longest video game out there.
No.
But yeah, we played about half of this one. That's all I'll say here, because this is Preston's game and a user pick, listener pick.
Yeah.
So I'll pass it over.
All right. Well, yes, we do appreciate the listener pick. This was from Whiskey Corridor 90 about 6 months ago. They chimed in and said, you guys should do Video Game Book Club on Black Ops 2 in honor of 2025. And I said, sure. So here we are.
The game is going about as good as this year, so great. 2020.
To be fair, I don't think I did not hate this game.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm still somewhat enjoying it.
No, if anything, Tomb Raider was more indicative of 2025. Just a broken piece of shit.
Black itself. Black is like the Dollar General of Black Ops 2.
The Dollar General of Black Ops 2. That's offensive to Dollar General.
I think it's a little mean to them too because those games are pretty separated and pretty far in years. So,
definitely.
But yeah, I mean, we can just go ahead and get into it. Before we get into the main campaign, I did want to talk. I know me and Alex talked a little bit, and Christian may have mentioned just earlier. I want to talk about two things real quick. So everyone knows, are we playing with keyboard and mouse, or are we playing with controller?
I'm playing with keyboard and mouse.
I am playing with controller, and apparently it was the only one. So I was going to play in Steam Deck, and I pulled it up, and the game said, I think the message straight up was like, go fuck yourself, don't try it, move to PC. So I immediately just powered it off, walked over to PC, downloaded it, but I'm playing on controller.
Yeah, I am playing on mouse and keyboard as well. I started up. Usually when I'm doing my book clubs, I turn on the PC. I go over to the monitor in front of the TV. I sit down over there on that recliner, and I'm like, all right, let's play. I got the recording going. I'm sitting there like, all right, it says gamepad here, but it's just, okay, well, maybe the menus just want mouse and keyboard. So I'm clicking through the menus. I get through the opening cutscene. Get to it. I'm like, I'm not controlling anything. I touch my mouse a little bit. And I see the fucking gun move a little bit. I'm like, oh, no, okay. So I go check. I'm like, yeah, in the options, it shows gamepad. It shows buttons and everything. It says a little option that says enable gamepad. I'm like, all right, that's already on. So I turn it off and turn it back on just in case. Still not working. I'm like, well, there's got to be a button I'm missing or something. Let's just go to the discussion forums in Steam and let's see what they got to say. So I look up that shit on the discussion forum in Steam, and you get the toxic tryhards who are like, well, you're playing PC game, a first-person shooter on PC. Why would you even want a controller? It's not very accurate, and there's no aim assist on here. I'm like, I know how to play a shooter well. And also, I'm not playing multiplayer. I'm playing campaign on my couch. That's why I'm not trying to use mouse and keyboard. I'm like, all right. So I moved over here. I sat down.
Dude, I'm on
figure it out.
ultra wide. I can't use mouse and keyboard. You know how far I would have to swing my mouse to move the camera on this
Well,
thing?
no, you would just change your DPI, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I hate people like this. It is.
Yeah, I saw those posts. I'm like, I'm not gonna get anywhere in here. This form is toxic.
No, it's so infuriating. Yeah, people are so fucking dumb.
It was bad.
Preston, can I tell you, with your lack of support for keyboard and mouse was only one issue of lack of support. The other is lack of support for ultra-wide monitors. And most games...
No.
I mean, this is a 2016 game. It does not need ultra-wide.
So let me just say this. So most games do it by going okay, we detect what you have. We're just going to put big boxes on it. We're going to play in our screen. I'm like, okay, that's great. That's a solution. This game goes, no, we'll play in your native resolution. We even have an option for 5122 by whatever. We got you, fam. So the cutscene starts. I'm like, why does this cutscene look weird? And 3 guys start walking, and they're all the size
Stretched.
of dwarves from Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings. They're supposed to like, what the hell is going on? So then I changed it. I was like, all right, give me 1920 by 1080. Like, give me the way this game is supposed to be played. And he goes, yeah, no, we got you here too. So instead of doing centered, it shoves it over to the left, cuts
Yeah.
off half the screen, and it was like, do you want to play this way? It was like, just let me play windowed. So now, on this giant monitor, the way I'm playing is in like
Windowed.
a 6x6 window that can't be resized to get the best resolution.
I will say, in fairness to this game, this is a 360 game. They got ported to PC later before
Yeah.
ultra wides were even a thing that people owned. So
I mean, to be fair, my game started out in 6x9, so it was not expecting me to have a widescreen anything. To be
Yeah.
fair,
I'm
And-
not hating on it. It just made me giggle when I saw the
No, sure.
dwarf
Yeah.
army men walking around. They were like super
Yeah.
compressed but fat. It was
yeah, it's like the videos of like Putin and he's like shoved down and like walking
Yes.
like yeah.
I audibly giggled. I was like, okay, that's pretty funny video game. Like, I'll give you that. So.
sure.
I had some stuff.
Any of you try the multiplayer?
Yeah.
Not in this version. I've played the only experience I've had with this game before was that my little brother back in the day was really into the zombies mode, and so I
Yeah.
would play the zombies mode with him, like, you know, on his 360. And that's it. That's my only exposure with this game whatsoever.
Yeah, I've watched my friend Mikey from the show. I've watched him play a lot on the PS3, and his brother was super into zombies. So it's either one of the two, watching them play. But I tried to play it on here. Like I didn't do it like that night. So I tried because I know Christian was going to be a little late, and then we were kind of just hanging out. I'm like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and boot up the multiplayer. Maybe I'll just jump in a match real quick. Wait about 5 minutes on one setting. Didn't find any rooms. Wait about another 5 minutes on a different setting. Try like quick match. You know, quick match is supposed to have AI bots in it. I go into that one. I get one person to show up, super high level. He bounces out immediately because he probably sees me at level 1. He's like, "God, no, I'm
That's
not on this
exactly
one,
what
fam."
happened.
And it happened like 2 or 3 more times, and it's like, "Oh, still can't find anybody. We need 3 players." I'm like, "No, you need the whole list of players, fam. I know you don't have other people just waiting in the rafters." It's like you're not just doing that. So it could not find a match for me, period, on multiplayer. I'll try again, like on a night maybe. Maybe it's just more populated at night, but it's a game for 2016. Like I don't expect it to. It's Call of Duty. There's a new one every year. People move on to the next best thing. I get it, but I just thought maybe at least
They were
AI
up to
one.
Black Ops 6, by the way. I think
know.
I saw someone was like, you know, Black Ops 6 now on sale. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I think that's this year. I forget which
So-
one this year. I think it's Black Ops.
So I actually had an opposite experience. Black Ops 7 gameplay reveal.
No, so 7's this year. Okay, there you go.
Holy fuck.
I had the opposite experience of Preston on multiplayer. So I opened up multiplayer. I downloaded the little separate thing because, you know, fun Steam shit. So I opened up multiplayer, like the quick match basic first option. I hit it. I'm not exaggerating when I say 0.7 seconds. It goes poof, and I'm off, and like I'm in a match. It was a map I've never had experience with, so I probably died 5 or 6 times before I got a kill. Once I got a kill, got a little bit of a feel for it. I did better. I ended up like 4 in 10 or something. First match, whatever. I expected to do pretty shitty. Second one though, they threw me on a map from like Modern Warfare 2 in this game that like I knew, and I'm like, okay, now it's game on. And I actually went, I went 1.0 kill death. I did like 10 and 10.
Nice.
So like I was actually pretty excited for a second game. Or like something I've never played. It was pretty good. But I was waiting seconds getting into matches.
Okay.
And it was good. Like I
Here's
tell
what
you,
I just
Yeah.
had I don't know why, I just had like this vivid flash of you saying, I had a 1.0 KD, like, so I'm pretty proud of that. And then Jake. Submitting
Jason.
I think you should leave me or whatever. He's like, you sure about that? Like, that's, I was just waiting. That's all I could picture.
but like the multiplayer, it is the best example of FPS from that time. Like it's a peak Call of Duty. It felt.
And that's why these
good.
games live. It's the multiplayer. The campaigns are in there for funsies on the side, but like people buy these games for multiplayer.
But this one, yeah, and you're right. But like this one is in that middle era. So like, I quit playing this game right around this time, not because of this game, but like
He was
because it
tired
had
of
some of the
kids screaming racial slurs at him.
yeah, a big part of it. But like, it had some of the older maps that felt good. Some of the newer maps are the ones where there's nowhere to there's nowhere to hide. So like I don't camp, but it is nice to like watch for walls and be careful. But they got to a point in this game where there is no protection. So you
Running
end up
gun.
yeah, you end up having 30 kills, but you have 30 deaths because it's just like constant trades, right? There's no strategy. This is still that like there's strategy to the maps. People are figuring it out. Like you're taking it slower. It is peak Halo, Call of Duty FPS. The medals feel good to get. Shooting somebody, getting the drop on somebody feels good. Shootouts feel good. So that part of it I really enjoyed for like the 3 or 4 games that I played. And it was fairly competitive, being like ranked literally 0 to a couple of 50s. It still felt good and capable. The game, though, we'll talk about that. But the
Yeah, fair
multiplayer felt great.
All right, now I get that out of the way. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, 2012 first-person shooter by Treyarch, published by Activision. Released for Windows, PS3, and Xbox 360, all on November 13th, 2012. A little bit after it came on the Wii U. It's the 9th game in the Call of Duty franchise of video games, a sequel to the 2010 game, Call of Duty Black Ops.
It's exhausting to even
yeah.
hear.
And I put on it that it has a huge cast, and like I am not even joking. Like we talked about a couple
I
of
looked
them
it up,
previously.
and I was
Like
shocked.
even the
yeah.
multiplayer, like I was looking through. I'm like, okay, well we got some big names for Black Ops 2. Obviously there was some from the original as well. But yeah, you're getting like Nolan North, who is like just in like the multiplayer, like the zombies section. Like we talked about Yuri earlier, was also in the zombies section. But yeah, we got
Yuri also plays like a random person in the background. Like there was a time there in one of the levels we played. I
Nolan
think it
North
was
plays
Karma.
like a bus driver.
Yeah, but there's like a scream or like somebody's like, "We gotta get out of here," and it was Yuri Lowenthal's voice. I'm like, my man never stops working
Dude,
ever.
Troy Baker is
Troy
a
Baker's in it.
voice in the multiplayer, and Jimmy Kimmel is a random voice in the
Well,
game.
he voices himself at the very end of
Yeah.
the
Oh.
game, apparently. Yeah. So there's 2 people who voice themselves. One of them would be Jimmy Kimmel, and to be fair, Avenged Sevenfold, a couple of those guys actually have speaking roles as well at the very end. But there's also Colonel Oliver North, who voices himself. He just plays Colonel Oliver North in the game as well. But yeah, you got Michael Rooker. You got
that one was a given.
That is
Like, as soon as
obviously you know
Rooker
who
talks,
that is. Tony Todd.
I knew.
He looks just like Tony Todd. But yeah, you got a couple of them here and there. What was the other ones I had here?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Yep, Michael Keaton.
Michael
plays. I just had that here for me. Oh, Hudson plays Hudson.
Can
Um,
you?
Sam Worthington is a big one too.
The same one thing. He was the main character in the first one, so he plays
Yeah.
older Mason. But also, like you even got like apparently Gary Oldman played a character in the first one, and they used some of his audio files
Yeah.
from the first one. I'm like, oh shit.
Can you imagine what it would have been like to be one of the studio heads during this time
Oh sure.
of Call of Duty? Like, you
Biggest game period of that year. probably.
must just be able to. Like, you must feel like you're
King
on
of
top
Castle.
of the world, and that
Yeah.
ride will never fucking end. Like,
Yeah.
you
I mean,
have
to be fair, it
Jimmy
hasn't
Kimmel,
ended
you
yet.
got all these big actors. Well, it has in that like it's their sales have decreased every
Still
year.
got one coming up this
year
year.
of year.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes, I'm
But this, but
acutely
to Chris's
aware.
point, this was a different
But yes,
time.
the
like
peak.
this was
This is peak Call of Duty.
That's
yes.
what I'm saying. Is
100%.
that like it must have felt like you could just shit money, like, and it was
'Cause they
just
were.
nothing you could do could be stopped. Like you're like, who are we getting? Get these Avenged Sevenfold guys in here and get them to fucking talk a little bit, and then
Let
okay,
them
you're
do
done.
some jams for us, and we'll let them have like a speaking line at the end or some shit.
Yeah, and then they get and they get all these other like big name actors, and these big name
every
actors too
voice
are like,
actor too. Go ahead.
huh?
I say every voice actor too. Like Matt Mercer's also in here. Just scrolling through this.
Yeah,
list.
like
Just
every
in
voice
random-
actor for the
yeah.
big name actors.
Steve
and they're
Bloom
like,
is in there
fuck it.
somewhere randomly. Yeah.
Say, like tell them that they're playing, and they're not going to tell us no because then their kids would scream at them for passing up a role on Call of Duty. Like,
yeah.
Yes, I know that they have a new game coming out, but it does not have the cachet that it used to have.
No. And then we got lastly is there's multiple writers in the game, but the big one is David S. Goyer, which you may know him from the writing of the Blade trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy, Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman. He also directed Blade Trinity, And he also has made one of our, main Alex at least, one of the favorite TV shows on Apple TV called Foundation. He is the creator of that science fiction television show as well, series.
Okay, I've never seen that, but what I will say is finding out that
director.
this game is made by the same director of Blade Trinity has made other things fall into place for me.
Sure. Yeah.
That
Blade
otherwise
Trinity,
might not have been.
arguably one of the best 3 Blade movies.
I think
I
it's
enjoy it, but you're wrong.
How many Blade movies are there, Preston?
3.
My statement stands.
You said the
I said
best,
one
though,
of the-
didn't you? Did you say the
I
best?
said one
No.
of I said one of the
Oh,
best
okay.
3 Blade movies ever made.
Sure. You're not wrong. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the story. Before we even get to the main menu, we get flashes of a story. First, a quick sentence about Mason's dad, and they ask the person across from him. This is when I don't know who anybody is on the fucking screen. About his story. We get flashes of a boy and a girl struggling through a building fire, going back and forth between that and the older version of the boy, which is him, telling the story. It gets super fucking serious right up front with the girl being heavily burnt and the boy trying to cut his throat with her locket before she stops him. Now we get into the menus.
Dude, this game's fucking dark.
This
I
game
didn't
is weird.
realize.
Hmm?
I remember Call of Duty, was it Modern Warfare 2, that had the airport scene, and they're like, hey, this
No
is
Russian.
in bad taste. You can,
Yeah.
No
you can watch it or
Russian,
you,
yeah.
you can watch it or you can not. This game also had something similar. Of
Oh,
like,
the
do you
gore
watch
option,
the gore-
yeah.
But this game is dark. Like, when you
Yes.
take it holistically of just like what you're doing and what's happening around you, like, it's dark.
Not to mention, like,
So-
one of the levels we have, like, it starts off with just you, like, essentially watching someone burn alive inside of a vehicle. Like, it's... Was it necessary? Are you trying to be edgy? Who knows? We'll get there.
True.
So now we get into the menus. There are gamepad options, but I cannot get a controller to work, obviously. And I put my little more messages on there, but that's kind of just what I talked about earlier. Just pretty much said that I found people saying it doesn't work, and not the nicest way. Going into the first mission, Pyrrhic Victory. So I'm assuming the word. I'm gonna have a hard time spelling some of these if they're about different cities. Vehicle rolls up to a federal facility. 2 of our main characters bust in a room, and it's Frank Wood's room from Black Ops 1. It looks like an assisted living space is what I put on here.
Yeah.
Looking for
Did you watch
Raul
Did you watch a
Menendez.
recap?
What's that?
Did you watch a recap, or are you just picking
no.
up cold?
I just picked it up from
Okay,
here.
so-
I probably should have watched a recap.
so
Probably would
we're
have
all-
helped out a little bit for me, but no.
We
I
didn't
did not
either. I'm
watch
just-
one.
We didn't either. I'm just asking. Okay, so we're
Okay.
all on the same page with this
Yes.
story. Got it.
Part of me wishes I did, but yeah. Part of me's like, well, maybe you should have started with Black Ops 1. I'm like, no, I'm good. And I get halfway through,
But
I'm like,
that's
yeah, I'm
also
good.
but that's also wasn't the suggestion, you know what I
It
mean?
wasn't
Like,
suggesting.
the-
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't.
That's
They told us
fine,
to play
that's
2.
good.
They didn't say play 1 and 2. They said play 2.
We're all on the same page as you go through the story. Okay.
All right. Looking for Raul Menendez, who is head of and is apparently the most dangerous terrorist since Osama bin Laden. We see a flash of this character giving Woods the locket, which he gives to David Mason, son of Alex Mason from Black Ops 1, which is the one of the 2 guys rolling in. And says that all Raul said was, mi hermana. That's Spanish for sister, dipshit. Woods says Raul is going to attack and starts to tell a story about Alex's dad doing good in Alaska. We cut to July 1986. Alex Mason, now retired from active duty, pursues an obscure life climbing trees in Alaska with his son David. Mason's former handler, Jason Hudson, approaches Mason for an assignment in Angola to go after Frank Woods, and his team have disappeared while attempting to take out arms smuggling ring. The CIA have already disavowed their actions, but Hudson hopes to rescue survivors. Cut back to Woods, old Woods, who starts to tell a tale of how Alex ended up rescuing him. Cut back to Angola. It starts with a man burning alive in a vehicle. We cannot break them out, as our character tries
So-
to. We cannot.
Really quick, there's a section or there's a part here where during that flashback with the kid and Alex, he's like, "Dad, don't go. Like, you promised me you weren't gonna go anymore." And then Alex goes like, "He would do the same for me, son. I gotta go." And he leaves and I go, "And you're dead."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's you've
Yeah.
already sealed your fate as far as the writing is concerned. Here, you're
I'm
dead.
retired. I'm not
Also-
going back into it. Oh, I found a way to pull me back in. This is where you die.
Yeah. Then there's the Harper guy that's with us in modern day in 2025. Him getting called the dipshit over and over again by this older dude. I was just like, I think if I was in his position, because he's not, like they're essentially like Navy SEALs as far as modern day is
special
concerned.
ops, yeah.
They're like Section 8 is whatever they call them. If I was that level of trained killer and some old dude is calling me a dipshit over and over again, I'm like, you've got one more time.
It's not just any
Right.
old dipshit, to be fair. It's Frank motherfucking Woods.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Frank motherfucking Woods is wheelchair bound and can't get up, so he should probably watch who he's calling a dipshit unless he wants to continue to wheel around. Like, I was just like, and also, I don't think this is just my memory, but like, I don't believe that Harper ever says anything to him
No,
that
he doesn't.
warrants
Frank is
his
just being a
snaps
dick.
at. He's like, that means sister dipshit. I looked around and
And
been
Mason's like, you fucking ass, dude. I know what
me?
that means.
I wasn't curious about what that meant. Thanks though. Thank you. No, I was able to suss that out. Like, I don't like. It's so weird that he just.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
I just him being sassy old man. That's how he got it in there. All right, so back to old Wood's story about how his team was caught and team was all gone but him. Then we go back to the chopper, and we are taken down.
the chopper.
But jump onto one of the boats. Nope, I went too far. Highlighted the wrong section when Christian
not
started
to the
talking.
chopper.
Nope, skip the whole paragraph there, Preston. All right, cut back to Woods, who starts to tell a tale of how Alex ended up rescuing him. Cut back to Angola. It starts with a man burning alive in a vehicle. Yes, there we are. We cannot break them out. We are introduced to Jonas Samvibi, who is an actual real person. Now, the voice actor is a different person, but this character is a real life person. We got a couple characters like that in here. We are helping his rebels fight against Angola's government while we look for the survivors of Frank's team. We strap to the side of the truck while we head towards the battlefield. Dudes are just running up on you at this point with machetes and rifles. So you're just taking out this onslaught of people who are pretty much the same two NPCs, if I saw correctly. As you're going through, you end up needing to take out a couple groups of mortars, which is just 3 dudes with mortars behind a rock. You can call in air support at this point to take out tanks. So this is when it kind of jumps you into like the kill zone, or kill streak, type of air support, to where they put you in the vehicle that's strafing across the field, and you are using a machine gun and rocket launchers to take out some of the bigger vehicles out there that you cannot take out yourself. We shoot out some turret gunners on trucks and call in more air support. Woods is kept captive by Nicaraguan gun runner. We take the chopper out to find him after we do that battle. Back to old Woods' story about how his team was caught and team was all gone but him. Then we go back to the chopper again. We are taken down because apparently we just want to fly above a bunch of these, but little did I know that the container on that ship is what we need. So as we're getting shot down, we jump onto the boat that we need to be at. We take it down the river, killing all on board and manning gun turrets to take down other gunboats as well. We open up the cargo hold and find Woods' team and Woods himself. Men have been dead for weeks, but Woods is still alive, so we take him out. As we're taking him out, a big chopper comes in. We take that down with some guided missiles and then swim ashore. We didn't do it quietly, so now we are trying to escape the jungle with Woods on our shoulder. We find out that the Cubans are here, and we see some of their children's soldiers. We sneak in a building with the comms and find that the radio operator is Raul. We don't know that exact moment, but we get in there because we want to call in for evac. We found this gentleman in front of the radio who is just being an asshole and punching the radio, so we can't use it. We end up holding him up at gunpoint. At the very end, someone ends up throwing a grenade, and then we shoot him in the face as we are blasted out of the building by said grenade. Pretty sure Raul did the grenade, if I remember.
Raul is the one who throws
Yeah.
the grenade.
Yeah.
There's a section. I
One
was
dude jumps
like,
on top of it.
as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, clearly that guy's going to be the villain because you're giving
scarred
him
him.
so much more. Yeah, you're
It's
giving
James
him so
Bond
much
style,
more.
right? You scar somebody and then he becomes a villain.
Yeah. You're just giving somebody that much screen time. It's like, okay, clearly.
Yeah,
that dude's
right,
gonna
yeah.
be
He's
the
got his
villain.
own
My
model.
thing is like,
Okay.
I was just like, there is no reason, if you are, especially in that time period, if you're a soldier and you're there to try to get an evac, you would just snap that dude's neck. There is no like, okay, you stand over there and you say exactly what I tell you to say. Like, it's not. First of all, that means nothing anyway because you're trying to contact somebody specific that is already used to your voice. So if a random
And
person
language.
calls them and is speaking a different language, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is like? Who's trying to call us
Unless
right
you
now?"
don't know how to use
Like-
the comms, but I think a special ops would probably know how to use comms.
Yes, yeah. I just thought it was. I was like, you
Either
should just
way.
smoke this guy. But
Yes, no, he should have been taken down.
and then there's multiple situations coming in for this playthrough that I'm just like, just shoot him. What are we doing? If he's as bad as you guys say he is, just shoot him. What are we doing?
Yep.
This is a waste of everybody's time. Like, well, we
Well,
got to
will the game
capture him alive.
continue?
For what? You don't. But yeah.
Otherwise, the game doesn't continue, Christian. All right. We run to the river for evac while fighting waves of soldiers. Even at this point, you might find it, but you can get some bear traps. Or animal
I
traps.
used
for that matter.
those. Yeah, the bear trap. I accidentally set one down
In front of
and
yourself?
caught somebody immediately in it and just
Ah.
laughed. Yeah, I just laughed as he just like
Yeah,
rolled around.
as soon as I got
the
it and
bear
I saw that
trap.
we were like running up to a spot to like kind of cover, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just
Uh-huh.
gonna put a whole bunch down on my way here. So I did that.
Yep.
And I turn around, there's one dude who's just in there like, I'm like, all right, well, it worked.
It-
Shot him, took him down. Like,
Dude,
I
I
don't.
just had people. I just had people
It was
walk
pretty
around him the
funny.
whole time. I didn't understand
Really?
what the fuck was going on. Yeah.
I mean, that's the only time I ever used it. To be fair.
I think
All
it's like
right.
when you get him.
Yeah. All right, so we run the evac with the soldiers, some with rocket launchers. Just dudes running down the battlefield with rocket launchers, shooting through the jungle. We are worried at first when a Russian helicopter arrives, but it actually is Samvimbi. Samvimbi? Samvimbi. Okay, gotta get that name right. And they end up rescuing us. Cut to next mission. If anyone wants to chime in on the first mission, feel free before we get to the second one. Otherwise, we get right
At this
into
point,
it.
I was like, I don't know what's going on.
No, yeah, I mean that, and
I
not
had
to
a
mention,
thought. Right. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna mention that I don't know. I know Alex confirmed this with me, but I was having a hard time hearing some dialogue here and there. I don't know if it's the Dolby
Yep.
or what's going on, but there's no option for subtitles. I checked. There is a one for like people who are hard of hearing that's supposed to make the vocals louder. I'm gonna be turning that on for part 2, but for part 1, I kind of just wanted to kind of go with it. And I will be staring at somebody. I'll have their face right in front of my character. I'll hear them talk, and all of a sudden the volume just dips down. I
think
move
the
my camera
subtitles
like
are
that.
hidden in a different menu. I have
Are
subtitles
they?
on my game.
Okay, then I need to find subtitles because that would be much.
I
nicer
think
for me.
I think they were an option somewhere. I feel like I remember seeing them. Though
I'll check it.
the first mission volume totally fine. The second mission cutscene to start it literally sounded, to your point, sounded like when you're talking to the old man in the wheelchair.
Yeah, sometimes
every
boys,
time
I
you went to
can't hear
talk, you just turn down the volume to a 2, and then other times it'd be up. And then there was the later mission where you're surveilling somebody as you're moving around the map and you're listening in. There would be times where my character would be like, oh, he's talking about blah, 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 and it would just no audio. And then you might get to a door, and it would cut in for like a split second, and then disappear again. I was like, oh, okay, well, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That level, I think, is based on. Are you talking about the one where you're listening in with like a watch?
Uh-huh.
Your
Yeah, it's
visor,
because it's based on line of sight.
No, I know, but even when
Even
so if
inside.
specifically the very second section where you drop down, you're crawling, and he's walking beside you. Even though I was staring at him, like with the little square, nothing.
Oh, it's
Just
still
nothing.
into
And
it.
then when he got through the door and cut back in, I was like, cool, cool video game. So yeah, I also had audio issues, and then another level coming up with the drones in the flooded area.
Okay.
The drones, I could hear the drone move, but their guns made no noise.
Cool.
Oh.
So,
No, yeah, for me it was like I just at this point I was like, and part of it is that we're playing a game that had a sequel and we're playing a direct sequel to that
Yeah.
game, and
You're gonna
so
miss half of it
there's
anyways,
that
I'm hearing
issue. But I was like, dude, I don't know who any of these people are or what's happening right now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, my guide and like the wiki I'm looking at kind of helped me a little bit with that because like when I'm trying to write down my notes, I'm like, okay, which one's Woods and which ones are Masons. I'm like, okay, well, for a while I thought Mason's dad was Woods in the fucking place. I'm like, okay, I need to look this up so I know what the fuck's going on if it's gonna be in my book clubs. I gotta be able to speak to it a little bit, at least get names right. But yeah,
It was this first mission again, peak FPS from this game or from this generation. Like on the
I'm having
boat
fun with it.
sequence. Yeah, I mean it looked fine, and the gameplay was fine. When you get off the helicopter and you're going to get the other guy, right? You're going to save him from the ship or
Frank.
from the boat, Frank. In that section, like the AI, man, like it wants to be smart and it wants to like run away and duck and cover, but sometimes like the guys will just run behind a box and they'll stare the opposite direction. I would just walk up and be like, "Hey, I'm behind you," and they wouldn't turn around and just be like, "Okay, shot." Like it tries, but it's
does.
just not
It
quite
really
there
does.
yet.
hey, you're supposed to be going in through running and gunning and being badass. So,
Yeah.
all right, chapter 2, level 2, mission 2, whatever the fuck we want to call it. Solarium. Raoul wants payback. Old Wood starts talking about the Russians and the Chinese are getting buddy. Talking about trade disputes with rare earth minerals and how
man.
the U.S. government is building drone armies that are made out of these minerals. Raoul is pulling the strings and setting up controversy. Yeah, it's something that's a little true to 2025.
It nailed the prediction of 2025.
I know,
and
dude,
even
there was a
later with
moment-
the targeted ads also nailed it. Like,
Sure.
It's so funny
yeah,
because
talking about
there's parts of this game that, you know, they made some bold assumptions for what 2025 would
Big
bring.
links for near future. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, you know, like in one of the levels, like we have those like magnetic gloves that people are like,
Nanite
he's like
gloves,
climbing
yeah.
all their mountains or nanite gloves, and you're like, that's not a thing. But then them talking about like current like a
Drones
politics thing,
Geopolitics.
are most of the
Yeah.
killers. Yeah.
and you're like, surprisingly astute guess. You kind of nailed this one. I don't think that you meant to, but you did.
yeah.
I
They
didn't
looked at the
thought-
technology that they were working on at the time, and they probably go, okay,
Yeah.
what would you see yourself in 2025? I'm sure someone did it.
It's so
I mean,
funny
I've
too, though,
seen it
because
before.
they're just like they're like the old guy was like, you really think it's a good idea to be totally attached
Building
to
with all
foreign
these
countries
Chinese rare earth elements.
with these rare earth minerals, and he's like, get real, dipshit, blah blah blah, and you're like, you know,
Not wrong.
yeah, like you're like, yeah, I mean,
Not wrong.
it was dumb,
Yeah.
but you know, people tried to. But to be fair, people were doing that. Like that discussion was already being had when this game was being made, so
Yeah,
you know.
sure. Exactly. Near future. You gotta predict a little bit, but not going too far. So from here, we cut to modern day Mason and Harper in the near future, 2025. We got high-tech binoculars, nano gloves, and a rope as we are on the side of a cliff. We do a swinging mini game, kind of, to get
in
to-
the rain, by the way.
And- well, it's
These
nanite
gloves not
gloves.
only stick to rocks
Yeah.
and in the wet weather.
nanite gloves. Of course they do.
It's nanomachines. They keep
Yeah.
Vamp
They do magic.
doing his stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Jesus Christ, yeah. And so we get to the cliffside. At least one part of it that we can reach. Of course, as soon as we get to the cliffside, lightning strikes a tree right next to us. And that tree falls down and tries to drag us off with it. We end up cutting the rope. Salazar and Crosby meet up with us as we activate our high-tech wingsuit and fly down to the point. The funny one with this one, I didn't nail the landing the first time.
Neither did
So I'm
I
flying
didn't know
through
you
just
could mess
fine.
that up.
And it's like deploying shoot. I'm like, well, I'm getting close to it. I'll just deploy when I get there. And it's like, no, you did too late. And you hear, and they give you the impact sound still. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah, I had
no,
the
we'll
same
just do it when
thing
I
because
say
I
it.
was like, oh, I'll just wait till the end to press it because
Yeah.
it's not like they'll take
Right
it away
there.
from me, and then they take
Yeah.
it away from you, and you can't press it anymore, and you're
Yeah.
like,
Oh well.
oh, okay, and then you crash, and then they just go, anyway, start the whole section over, and you're like, oh, really?
It's just the flying section at least. You don't have to do the rope section.
No, yeah.
It's just the flying section. All right. From here, we find out that some of the troops have digital camo suits.
That was that was wild. I was like, okay.
So
video
I
game.
actually saw an Instagram thing recently of some person making a suit like that to where it's like a raincoat type of deal and it has like the reflective. It's here. It's kind of here right now. I'm sure the government has something with that. They're still working on.
Was it
To
two
perfect.
Chinese men?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that video's been around for a decade now.
Oh, has it? Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Good job, Instagram. Or whoever posted that, for that matter. We find out that some of their troops in digital camo suits. We storm the base and can use EMP grenades that we shoot from our wrist to disable the cloaked suits. We take down a drone trying to take off. These drones are the size of actual attack helicopters.
Yeah, massive.
They are huge. They're like the Tesla truck, but like helicopter form. We hack into one of the turrets and take down a lot of troops and vehicles. I put down here that I thought that the level looks incredible with the ancient buildings, with the barriers and ramps and the kind of the extra stuff they put into it, being like a fortified base. We go inside one of the temples, fronting as a research facility. Inside, we find our own cloaking suit and small tank drones. I thought this was really funny because they give you a cloak tank suit, and they kind of give you a little bit of a quick cutscene here as you're approaching this building. Like, oh yeah, you could probably use the cloak suit. You could probably just walk up in there. So you hit the cloak suit and you start walking forward, and the giant explosion knocks you back, deactivates your cloaking suit. I'm like, this is the first time you want me to use the cloaking suit, and you just have me explode? I'm like, fucking assholes.
Yeah.
So yeah, inside we find our own cloaking suit. Yep. EMPs can stun the drones as well. They're called ASBs. I didn't look up what that meant, but that's what the small tank drones are called. EMPs can stun them.
Autonomous shooting bot. I'm just gonna guess.
Sure, I'll take your word for it. And they are
I'll see
reinforced
if
from the
they're real.
front. These are pretty easy. You usually just see them and start hosing. By the way, what all difficulty are we playing on? Everyone playing on normal?
I'm
Yeah.
playing on normal.
Okay, yeah, same.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Through this level, we will have use of some high-tech near-future gear, aka current-day weapons. We can even access at one point our own little tank drone, which we can let loose and it'll go after the enemies. Which we get by using a portable Jaws of Life? Question mark. There's a lot of things that we find that we can get access to, like either rooms or buildings, stuff like that. But like we go into it and like the dude pulls out a Jaws of Life thing that you would use like get something out of a car and like puts it in and it opens it up. Like we just carrying that on our back, and we find these other little small boxes that just have bolt clippers. So I guess we're carrying those around on our back too. I don't know. Maybe they're
Video game
new
pockets, dude.
Yeah, I'll say maybe it's the new sci-fi future and they can all just extendo clip everything on there. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? All right. Then from here,
You'll be happy and terrified to know those little unmanned like drone tanks
Those
are
are
a real thing.
oh yeah,
They
that's not
were-
me surprising. Yeah.
They were unveiled in 2021 in Ukraine at a arms and security convention exhibition. That's
Little tiny Metal Gears. Hell yeah.
horrifying.
All right. We find the main scientists, and they tell us that they are working on Celerium, which is a new rare earth element that will make all other existing microchip technology obsolete.
He talks about quantum computing about that.
He
too.
does.
It's
He's like,
he does.
quantum fucking computing. I'm like, all right,
he
buddy,
does,
you need to
yeah.
go hard.
well, no, but what's crazy is that in 2025, that is when we've seen a ton of breakthrough in that space,
Nice.
at like in real world. So it's like,
Okay.
okay,
It again. All right. We
Yeah,
get
and
this.
we've barely seen many more breakthroughs since then. I mean, like we've been able to transfer a qubit like from here to there, just a hair's length.
hey, I'm just saying,
Something. It is
it's still funny that they're yelling about quantum computing in 2025, and then here we are.
We get the Celerium device from the scientists. It's like a piece that is the size of a soda can and has more processing power than our entire military, he says. Scientists then just get sniped the fuck out, and
Yeah, he
we
does.
fight our way out to the extraction team. We find them down the way with Admiral Briggs, played by Tony Todd. Anyone who is actually, to be fair, if you're a big fan of like movies and stuff like that, you've probably recognized this gentleman. Also, if you've played recently the brand new Indiana Jones game, he also has his likeness in that game as well. I put down here at the very end because this is when I kind of got a hold of some like the new guns or the near future guns, present day guns, if you will. And I really liked. Now, I'm not going to be able to tell you the exact name of these, but it's the QBB LSW Target Finder gun. Assault rifle.
Me too.
It's got,
That was also my favorite.
Yeah, it's got a little scope on there. It puts up little red little squares or diamonds on the guys. It's nice to have. And then the other one I had was the Chicom CQB customized, and that's just a fucking RPP. That's an art. Like
I'm not convinced that you didn't just call Alex a slur there, but
a CQB. Get the hell away from me! All right, going to the next mission. Old Wounds, 2025.
Hold on, before we go to
Yeah.
this next mission, just quickly on that last
wanna go
one.
with that one, yeah.
I agree with you. Just brief. I agree with you, Preston. This was
really
the first
cool.
one I noted to myself that actually looked pretty. I thought the same thing. I was like, we were playing. There was like this on granted
2016
PC, like,
game looks really good.
It looks good. It looks
Yeah.
good. There's a couple of funny things here and there where you'll notice like textures like later when you're going through the grocery store that's flooded, the fruit and stuff are just like weird and flat
Sure,
and goofy.
yeah.
But as a whole, like any of the modern day levels were very pretty. I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Going on to the next mission, which is Old Wounds. 2025 Mason and group talk about why Raul hates us so much. Salazar tells of his entire history of Raul with an insanely rough childhood, earthquake in his home area that destroyed everything, and you have the Josefina story, which we saw before you got to the main menu. Him and his father started drug dealing, and his father ended up being assassinated by the CIA. Started to make a private
ain't that
army.
always how it goes?
know.
Man,
This is
the
a US
pesky CIA, dude. They
US
just can't
sanctioned.
fucking leave well enough alone, no matter where they go.
Gotta be making moves, bro. So Raul started to make a private army in Afghanistan. Woods mentioned older Masons seeing numbers again. Star, 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 star. I must have missed why he sees numbers. Apparently that's a thing. In
That
the
would have
Black Ops
been in the first game.
Yep. We cut to 1986 Afghanistan. Again, here I also said gorgeous level. Made a little joke, sand and more fucking sand, but also the cliff sides and everything around there had the structure and the statues. Like it looked very good, I thought as well. Real nice rock formations. The Chinese intelligence operative Zhao meets up with your squad and brings some horsies. We ride these in a more open battlefield area. Soviets are about to attack the camp. We get to camp and meet with Rahman, a leader of the Afghan Mujahideen. All I thought about was Dune every time someone
Mujahideen,
said
yeah.
that.
No, you said it. You said it right. They're a real group that we funded.
I got you. Yeah, that just reminds me. For some reason, every time I heard
Yeah,
that,
we did.
I just thought of the Dune people, Mohammadi or whatever his name is.
Speaking of the CIA,
Speaking of,
Dude, so this I also
they're
loved
an Islamic
the,
militant group.
I also loved the like Persian music they put in, which is like the cliche music that every American associates with that part of
I
the
know.
world.
Middle East. Anything
Yeah.
Middle East is Persian.
yeah, I know.
Also,
There's an Instagram video that it kills me every single time it comes out, where it's all these different people stitch themselves together in this video to like build out a
I've
scene
seen
or whatever. And it ends with, this one guy, he comes in at the very end, he's like, "Hello, my friend." And it's like does
Yes.
this whole thing. It's so good.
that's like a what is it, like a white person treasure hunting in Africa or something? What like every
Yes.
movie scene? Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say about this level, I had a hard time at this level because like shaky cam is the name of the game, and this thing almost made me sick.
Oh yeah,
Like,
we haven't
running
got to
around the
battle
desert,
yet, but yeah, for
on the
sure.
horses,
Yeah.
everything else.
I
like
this
I
was
was
the
almost
first level.
nauseous by the
This
end.
was the first level I played where I felt like you guys were. I was like, "Oh, this actually looks pretty good." Like I thought this
Yeah,
level looked nice.
this level looks great. So Rahman is not a big fan that he gets us and not weapons. We bought the weapons, but we're telling him that his group would not know how to use them. So that's why we're here. As we're having this conversation with Rahman, the Russians attack. That's when we start the explosions. We head out on horseback and miss the explosions. Trucks, horses, soldiers start going flying from explosions. We get on foot to secure some weapons, an RPG. At a camp overrun with Russians. We take out some BTRs, which are the big, heavily armored vehicles. We set a demolitions charge and blow it to keep other vehicles from getting by. Fun chime on comms happens here. Zhao talks about Frank mentioning earlier the Russians attack with brute force and numbers. He says that he was expecting such a fight, or Zhao says that Frank was expecting such a fight. Frank says, doesn't mean I wanted it. And I got a little chuckle out of that one. From here, we are back on horseback with an RPG and take out some tanks and some helos. We can switch modes from helos, switch modes to air to ground, so that we can lock onto the helos. Doing all of this to keep the base from being overrun. We go to take back a base in the east. Again, we are doing all of this to get info on Raoul. After we secure the base, we are told we need to see something for ourselves. So we get back on horseback and ride back to base. This now cuts back to the old folks' home with Woods. Woods talks about Kravchenko, how he carved a hole into old Mason's head and put all the numbers in there. Mason said he didn't see them anymore, but Woods didn't believe him. Cutting back to the desert, we see a giant Russian tank. And do this epic, like, hey, they're going to show us...
Mad Max style tank.
Yeah, they're going to show us brute force. We're going to show them all this bravery. So we kind of go in there just storming the tank with a bunch of horses.
Yeah, we do.
So we rush on horseback in a very epic style and get knocked down with the horse on top. Tank rolls by. At first, I was kind of worried because this game has allowed itself to be very brutal. That horse looked like it was in the way of the tank.
It was.
But horse disappeared. I was okay with that. I was very happy about that. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
horse
okay, cool.
despawned is
That
what
would have been a little extra rough. I don't think we needed to see that. But I'm like, 'cause that's the first I saw the tank. I'm like, oh, geez, are they going to show? I'm like, okay, he despawned. Okay, good.
Yeah, but the implication is that he got rid of
The
it.
implication is that that dude was squashed.
The implication.
Tank rolls by and Woods picks us up on horse.
I like how the squashed horse is a line too far for this game.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, somebody probably said something like, "Hey, we can do this as humans. We can't do this with fucking horses." We cut back. No, sorry, nope. We get Woods to pick us up on horse, and we jump onto the tank to blow it up. Kravchenko pops out, and we still manage to blow up the tank. Mason starts to see numbers. We cut back to the cave. We are interrogating him. Kravchenko. Woods obviously wants him badly. We have to resist the numbers so we don't shoot him. This is where we start to get Mason's numbers flying past us, and we have to press the F button a whole bunch of times.
Did you let it happen? Did anybody let it happen once?
I did not let it happen, but I know what happens if you do let it happen, but it doesn't really change much.
So
you
I
let it happen?
didn't let it happen. No, what happens if you let it happen?
You shoot him and stay out. But there is, you do get a little bit of information.
It's not a game over screen.
No, it's not a game over screen, but you do get a little information, and it changes how one of the characters reacts in a later mission. This will be the way this game plays out throughout. So there's some piece of intelligence that you can get, and some actions like this to where you can fail or not fail, and that will change the game slightly. As far as one character may be like, oh, because we got that piece of intelligence, I'm a little more suspect while we're in this level about what's happening. As opposed to, if you shot him, you didn't get that piece of information, that character is no longer has that information in his head, which I thought was kind of nice.
If I would have known you didn't get a black screen, I would have done it. I would just let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't
So
get a
that's
blank
good to know.
screen.
That's good
You
to know
just get
moving
less-
forward.
You just get less information.
Okay.
All right. So let's see where we're at. Yes. So we don't shoot him. You cannot resist, and you will shoot him. Okay, so I just put that there. You do the same thing over. If you do resist, Woods will continue to interrogate until he shoots him. We get taken by Roman's group in betrayal and left out in the desert to die. They are rescued, but Mason's hallucinations thinks it's Victor Reznov from Black Ops 1, a.k.a. Gary Oldman. Let's see here. Here, it auto-selected a Strike Force mission for me. Did it do so for you guys?
That's mandatory. Yeah.
Okay, it's mandatory. Okay, so I did the tutorial. We get to the main scenario. In this game mode, you can warp in and out of your troops, drone, tanks, turrets, pretty much any like your units down the field. So you can look above it like real-time strategy style, and you can kind of tell them where to go. You are, and you can even go into them to kind of use them. So like if you want to go into the turret, you can. If you want to go into the tank or one of the guys, you can as well. And then doing this, you are defending 3 points of interest as time runs out. So These are another one of those little pieces to where you can do them, you can't, or you don't have to do them.
I
But-
told
It
Christian
won't be.
this.
This will change slightly depending on whether you
Yeah.
do them or not, as far as a story. So certain
That's okay.
characters will have certain pieces of information if you do or do not do these. I skipped all of them after they made me do the first one.
Yeah, I won't. I did the bare minimum.
I did not like
Well,
how this.
Pres-
I did not like how this.
I didn't like it
minigame
either. It's
played.
too long.
It
The
was
time,
not
timer
fun.
on that is way too long to count down.
I did the
Yes.
bare minimum on this. So when it kicks it off, it goes, if we lose 2 parts, we're 2 points, we're done. And I went, okay. So
So I
put the robot on the closest point to me, and I put all of the men on the middle point in B, and I stood on B, and we literally just held A and B. I was like, I
The
don't even
best
give a
part
shit
is
about
that's
C.
a lie
just
because
held
I
it for
lost
10
all 3 points. It falls back to a regular chokehold point, and then that's what you have.
Oh,
to hold
really?
For the rest of it. Yeah.
Oh, annoying.
So I didn't lose all 3, but it has you go to a chokehold point still, I think, as well. Didn't I have you go to a chokehold point at the very end? Like after you defended all 3?
No.
Okay, so then I must have fucked up.
No, I just held I held the 2 the whole time and just stood on B where we could see
So,
A and
Christian,
put everybody there and we
Alex,
passed.
these strike formations are a one-time deal. So there's no like game over, try it again as well. Like you play
Oh.
these, and whether you fail or don't fail, that's how that goes down. Like
but
if you fail, you don't get to try it again.
But I assume if you fail, it's the equivalent of not doing it at all, right? As far as the result goes.
As far as the
Like, you probably
result
don't get
goes, yes,
don't get
depending
the
on the
edit.
mission. Depending on what the
That
mission is.
is awful.
Because-
It's awful.
At the very end of this playthrough, there is something that you can or cannot do. You get a second chance with that with a strike. And if you don't get it with that second chance with the strike, you essentially get what is quote unquote the bad ending. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Oh, we're definitely getting the bad
Speed
ending
run
now.
80%, baby. Let's go.
Next mission is Time and Fate. We start here with the team boxing. Harper explains that Raul blames Mason's dad and Woods for killing his sister. Cut to old Woods
I don't know
telling us...
why. When you said that this was time and fate, all I could think of was I ain't got a lot of time, and it's my fate to get the bad ending.
I'm so giggling at Christian just saying speed run 80%.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Gotcha. We cut to Old Woods telling us the info they got on Raul is that he was a Nicaraguan and that the president of Panama, Manuel Noriega, real person in real life, voiced by someone
Yep.
else, was wanting to offer Raul...
Not the real Noriega. We didn't get him
No,
for
they
this.
didn't
Can I
hire
tell
him.
you?
They didn't hire
Can I
real
tell
Noriega.
you it's so funny. You can tell like when all of us grew up and what pop culture was around that time because they said Noriega and my immediate thing was like, oh, from the Rick Ross song.
Oh, Jesus.
It was like the real Noriega. There it is. Yeah.
All right, so the president of Panama, Manuel Noriega, was wanting to offer Raul up on a silver platter to America. Woods says what they did there was an accident. They don't normally target civilians. And this cuts to 1986, not 1886 like I put in the notes, 1986, Nicaragua. We are with Noriega. We observe Raul and then cut to his point of view. He's in his sister's room, sitting at her bedside with her when someone comes knocking on the door. He opens it, and the person is instantly killed by Panama forces as they barge in. One of the guys goes to his sister and pulls her off the bed, ends up calling her a monster, throws her against like the dresser, and this is where Raul starts seeing red, literally.
Dude, there's a
This
lot
part-
of violence against
So this
women
part
in
was
this
crazy
game.
because at first I thought, at first I thought it was definitely going to be like a SA kind of situation. You know what I
SA?
mean? Like I thought that's what they were going to go in.
What do you mean?
Like, well, because I don't know if we get, but like like a sexual assault thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I thought that it was going to be like a situation like that. But it's like, no, he just yanked her out and bonks her on the head on the dresser. And it's like,
Well,
anyways,
he
like,
sees her, he's like, oh, a monster, and he throws her against the dresser.
Yeah,
I
he
know, but
slams
it's-
her face off the corner.
I know,
it's
he just like
fucking
bonks her
brutal.
head and then she falls down or whatever. And it's like, but
These guys are getting what they deserve, so go on, Raul.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's not the only time they like later in the club scene, like 2 women just get popped, like just.
Oh, yeah,
boom.
yeah.
It's,
They get brutal.
it was
yeah,
brutal
and that
for
one
no
that
reason.
was wild.
war, brother.
Yeah, that dude goes crazy.
So he gets subdued and even tranked and wakes up later outside. Noriega surprisingly helps him escape. So it's Noriega and 2 other guys. Noriega grabs a shotgun and ends up shooting the 2 other guys. and cuts Menendez free. Menendez just ends up beating him anyways as he gets free. We go in and out of seeing red as we make our way back to the mansion and room. We are shotgunning with infinite ammo and macheting our way through troops as we hear the sister's cries and him yelling at Tour. At one point, you grab and throw an axe. You just do it once. You pick up the axe, it auto throws it at a soldier, which stops them from executing a couple guys. And then we get back to the room. And when we get to that room, we are stopped by one of the U.S. soldiers and see a grenade bounce into his sister's room.
Well, we see Mason and Woods there in that one. And then
Do
we're
we?
stopped
I
by
know we
Hudson.
see I know we see Hudson, but I don't know if we saw Mason.
No.
So you do
we?
see
For
the
a
two
second?
soldiers. I couldn't process who it
I
was
didn't see
until
who
we
it
do the
was,
second
yeah.
part of this, but they are.
I knew
Yeah,
Hudson
it's
was
Mason and Woods, and then Hudson grabs
Yeah.
you, but you hear Woods being like, yell his
Sure, whatever
name,
you
and
yell,
then
Yeah.
and then his head turns because Hudson grabs him, and so then the next thing you see is a grenade bounce into the room, and you're like, oh damn.
They do a great job at like foreshadowing, if you will, and showing just enough, but cutting it just in time where like if you don't have a keen eye,
Yeah,
you do
if you don't know
miss.
what's going on
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
We cut back to Woods and find out his sister died in the blast. Woods says he didn't know she was in there. He was just enraged when he saw Menendez. Says when he was captured by him, he was tortured to try to find out what the CIA had on him. The torture he endured and watching his team rot in that storage box for weeks. So yeah, he lost his shit. We cut back to 86 Nicaragua, 15 minutes before the Menendez scenario. We are observing him still and see the troops get to his room. We now head that way. Taking out troops and gun emplacements. On the way up, we can find some Molotov cocktails. I use those like once and twice and I'm like, fuck this, Molotov cocktails suck. At one point, Hudson finds out that they did not secure Menendez. Woods ends up going crazy, jumps out of the window to go after him. Hudson tries to calm him down. Here, you can find some mortars as you open up another spot with the Jaws of Life. As you storm the Menendez mansion, we head to the basement where the Coke Lab is, at, to see if we can get some intel on the cartel. We enter the cocaine bunker, taking down troops amidst clouds of exploded cocaine. We now have objective to capture Menendez. We exit, and Woods is determined to take part in the capture. Woods starts to just run through the mansion, macheting people and killing people. Well, we get to the hallway scene from the previous Menendez playthrough, and find out that Woods threw the grenade. Even knowing Hudson, I put this is my own little piece. Even knowing Hudson was right there, he still was going to throw a grenade at him. We try to stop him, but just avert the grenade, which goes into Raul's sister's room. A body bag gets taken away at the very end that is supposed to be Raul. Cut back to Old Woods saying it was supposed to be his body, but now he's back. We see the flash of him being in Woods' room and says, now it begins. Woods is done talking and tells us to go find him. This goes to the next mission, if anybody wants to chime in on Time and Fate.
Yeah, there was okay. So this level is where I started to notice a little bit of gameplay jank beyond the audio issues. So pretty early on in this game, I found the secret to breaking it, which is flank everyone. Just run up the side. Don't even flank. Like you don't even have to flank. Shoot.
Yeah.
Run straight up the side of one side. Kill the one or two people they put in the far side path, and your AI, that like your companions, will kill everybody with you and move up. And there will even be times where you'll pass everybody, and like Michael Rooker's character and stuff, they'll just appear like ahead, right? So I found the speed running technique, which is just flank
Just
up
go
the side.
forward.
You're golden.
Just keep going.
But so this level then did a couple of different things that pissed me off. So one, in that scene where you're chasing, what's his name? Frank? Is that the one you're chasing behind
Woods?
the whole time?
Yeah.
Woods. I'm bad with the names here.
Frank
So
Woods,
when you're
yeah,
chasing, Woods, I got ahead of the AI, so I'm running, and he's yelling. He's like, follow me this way," and I'm like,
I know where
"Don't
I'm
go," and I'm like, "Guy, I'm like up the stairs waiting on you." And there would be times, and I actually had this happen later in the game too. and I think it was the water area, where
next
I got so far ahead, I got to the edge of a box, and I started crawling at a snail's pace until like the game caught up and like let me move forward. So I would just be like barely walking. So that was one. The other one was in the cocaine area at the bottom. I did the flanking thing, made it to a room on the right, started shooting, and games from this era just spawned 8 people in the room with me, like behind me. I
Yeah.
know, because I'm like at a save point, and I'm dead, and I'm like, what the hell? And I just started seeing them just pop in from invisible, and I was like, oh, video game. And that happened multiple times as well, I guess, because I was just outpacing the AI. So from here on out, there would be times where like I would just watch people just like poof to life in front of me. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I had the issue with the the horse level, to where that first time when the Russians started attacking and they tell you on your horse and go like through that archway, I was
Yeah.
going faster than everyone else and it had me restart to the checkpoint.
Oh,
It
really?
acted as if I went too far. And I'm like,
So-
okay, all right, I'll slow down.
The next level and the
2 more,
club
yeah.
scene, there would be times where literally like I was pushing forward on the joystick, and I was inching, it's going and
'Cause you're too
I would have to
far.
like wait or walk backwards and then kind of reset itself and be like, okay, go ahead. It was weird.
Didn't want you to speedrun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next level is Fallen Angel. We get info on DeFalco, Menendez's second-hand man, and that they have cyber weapon called Karma. Harper says, let's go blow off some steam by boxing, and says, suffer with me, which causes Mason to remember that Menendez captured him after his father's death. He said that he suffers with him due to the sins of those who came before him, saying, tonight your father will die. We cut to us in knee-deep water as they are turning on one of our own claws, the drone tank, and follow them. As we follow them through the building, there's 2 of them. One of them we can even end up turning on the flamethrower for. As we get outside, we see it is also flooded out there, pushing cars and buses down the street as we take down ISI troops. We hunker down in a corner as a bus comes at us, and we push through the door to get past it with the F button. Here,
Or X if you're on controller.
yeah, okay. Here they do a silly little one-liner. It's like, I still got my balls. How about you? We are trying to reach a place called Anthem. We go through the streets, hiding from large drones. We get closer.
Another game that Activision canceled. Go ahead.
Yeah, just right. I think the servers actually just got shut down, or will be shutting down soon. We get
Yeah.
closer and go through the sewers to get in. Briggs gives us the schematic showing us where we need to get to. We use our high-tech grapples to get up to the rooftop, only specific parts of the roof, by the way, to take out a few guards and start scanning for Raul. We find him and try to listen in on his convo. We look around for advantage points to get more of the convo while avoiding drones, spotlights, as Raul meets up DeFalco. Alex, I had the same issue, not really about the same issue, but I just didn't get a lot of this conversation because you're supposed to, like, at first you're scanning a whole bunch of people and it's like, I'm scanning soldiers, no one's fucking important. And you finally see somebody who looks different and you should scan them, and it's fucking Raul. And so you start getting a little bit of the conversation, and then it has you run off because he's out of line of sight. And then it has you get prone at one point, and I think they wanted me to listen in, I'm not sure, but I just kept going prone and walking forward until he stopped. And that's when I tried to get a little bit of more information from him. But most of that conversation I didn't get, but the game doesn't fucking care.
Yeah.
So Raul moves to DeFalco. We go further towards the train yard, still following Raul. We find the captured drone that they're doing research on. We see an interrogation room as well, much like the one in Black Ops 1, I think. It's my note there. But it's like a chair with all the screens around it. It looks just like the Black Ops 1 main menu. We go underwater past bodies. One tries to give us a little bit of a jump scare. We come back.
You should not get in that water. If you just
No,
have dead
it's-
floating body, like you don't get in that.
There's bad bacteria in that water, buddy.
Yes.
We come back up underneath Raul. He starts talking about how he knows about the infiltration and says that he engineered it as he is like looking down through the grates like towards us essentially. They drop some grenades in our room and we jump back in the water, swimming away from the gunfire. Salazar says he has drones to aid our escape. We hack a claw and control it through the train yard. We are also taking control of what's called a Maximus, which I'm assuming was a tall mech version of the Claws. Salazar says he is 30 seconds out. He arrives, and we get into not a warthog, a Shakti, which is also the name of a Jedi Knight, by the way. Drones are supposed to clear a safe passage for us. We control the drone, taking out the troops and barricades, then driving the warthog / Shakti. Controls are a bit rough. You can choose to switch to the drone during a slow-mo jump ramp. And then at the very end, Harper says to avoid the flames. I did not avoid the flames. Did anybody avoid the flames?
I didn't
So,
know it was an
this
option.
is
I
what
heard him say it, but I drove into
You
him.
can avoid the
So
flames.
here's a thing that I had to do in my game. I had to do the drone option here because
Okay.
something about what I did or how I was playing, I don't know. But if I played the Jeep level, it would hard lock at the end where I would go to
Really?
jump.
Wait,
and it
so
would
you
just stop, and the game, I'd have to force close the game and restart it
That's so strange.
over
So-
and over again.
So how far did you do the drone? Because like when I did it, it was just
That
that
drone's
initial
quick.
thing, like break the gate, and then I
Yeah.
never got the drone again.
But he had a switch during the slow-mo jump because at the end it wouldn't lock him.
I never
Yeah,
saw
when you
that.
and then it lets you take the drone all the way to
Yeah,
the end.
that
Yeah.
first like slow-mo jump you get off the wrap, like it's a split second. It was so quick that I didn't notice it. Like I noticed it, but I didn't know what it was asking me until it was too late and I
Okay.
couldn't switch to the drone because I didn't like the Warthog play anyways. I'd rather be the drone, but it's fine. So Harper says to avoid the flames. I did not avoid the flames, and you can avoid the flames. His face gets burnt. Only hurts him for a minute though. We arrive to the evac site and
Oh, you
Tianzhou.
actually can avoid it in that?
You can. It just makes he just not burn the rest of the game.
So in the I was gonna say, so he's not burned in the next level.
So the conversation you have with him picking up chicks in the next level is a little bit different, I would assume. He probably just still gets called ugly, but I just didn't
Yeah, I
There
think
was
so.
can I say too? There was one funny part, and this is all I'll say about the last level because I enjoyed the warthog chase. It was fine.
That's fine.
There's a part where two of the drones were going to collide. So one drone in the middle is going to the one flying in from the screen off the left. They don't touch. The one in the middle disappears, reappears in the center of the screen,
middle, yeah.
on fire, spins out, and goes off. It's
Yeah.
like,
Nice.
okay,
I had a
video
I had a
game.
moment during the drone section where I was shooting at somebody, and like so I kind of like swung by, and this is probably when I should have known that something was going on with the game. I saw their targets teleport outside of the screen and then come back, and I was
Very nice.
like, "Yeah, that'll do. That will do."
The one thing I'll say about this section is that I wish they would just let you press a button instead of for turbo to like shoot that gun on top, because you have like a tank gun cannon on top of this like Warthog, and you see it used a couple times, but you don't activate it. What they want you to do
It's Harper. He's the one who's doing it.
what they want you to do to take out other of these Warthogs or Shaktis is you gotta boost up and just tap them. As
Is
soon as you
you
tap
burn
them,
out
they
them.
just fucking go flying.
Yeah.
Burnout style. Yeah, 100% burnout style.
I giggled whenever I was driving, and they were essentially like, Vin Diesel looks over, he's like, hit the NOS, and you
Yeah.
hit it, and
Yeah.
just take it away.
That's pretty much what
Okay,
happened.
that's
All these guys have
fast-
turbos. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Tianzhou, we arrived at the
Games
vaccination
about
site.
family.
Tianzhou is there. He says, if we are here for our rule, he has no need to kill us. Ending of that level. If anyone wants to add anything to that. Otherwise, we'll go straight into the last level of this part, which is Karma.
Nope, I brought up my hard locks, so that was it. That's the level.
Also-
I got hard locked a bunch, and then I had to switch to the helicopter, and then it finally went through, and I just had a sigh of relief. That was really about it.
Fucking so weird.
Karma's another one of those levels, man, the modern level that I thought was like, it was pretty. It looked
great.
good in
It's
this
good.
modern remaster.
For
Yeah.
Karma, we go over to the recordings we took to find out the Falco has a logo for Colossus on his arm. This could be where we could find Karma. Colossus is on the Cayman Islands. It's a floating city resort. Here, in this 2025, we have fancy plane drones. So, one of these nice, small-looking like drones, and if you look back, you can kind of see just like rows of seats. So obviously commercial. We come in as union inspectors. We need to access a room that requires a retinal scan. They say that's what Ziggy is for. Don't know what they're talking about. Harper says if
Not the
he
time,
was
no.
not right at this point. Harper says if he was on vacation, he would get some hot chick action here. Also, we mentioned that this is the richest city
I
in
would.
the
It
world.
would be so funny if Avenged Sevenfold started playing right,
Right
then.
here?
I would have fucking lost it. I would probably turn the game off. It would have made me laugh so hard.
In 2025, we also have advertisement that will use your biometric ID and personalize the ads, which is scary creepy. We take an elevator down. Harper takes his own floor and bumps into a lady. Salazar and I go to an under construction part and take out some ex-Cuban militia.
Yep.
We take out Ziggy, which is a spider drone with a taser and retinal scanner. We go through the ducts and maintenance hatches, cling to walls, jumping around a little bit. We find
Dude,
out
that thing was squirrely as F.
it
I don't know
could
about
be, yeah.
for you
I
guys.
just I
but
mainly tried to
me,
go
I was
straight
just
the
like,
entire time until they didn't let me. Essentially, is what I did.
brutal.
All right, so we find out they're planning explosives for some reason. We tase some control panels and find the guy with the retinal key that we need. We scan his eyes, and someone takes out Ziggy. So we drop down from a little vent.
So
The guy
this
freaks out.
part
We
here-
tase him a bunch and get his retinal scan, and somebody finds us right at the last minute.
Yeah, so here's the thing: is that you tase that guy, and you drop him, and you take him, then the guy picks you up, face totally exposed. By the way, I'm like, just tase that dude.
I was hitting the trigger.
But
nothing
he's the
happened.
Cuban
I know, I
militia.
was
He
too.
doesn't have access to.
I don't need him to have access to anything. I need him to get tased so that I can get put
Oh,
down.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we should be able to tase him. I wish.
Yeah.
Maybe you just ran out of juice. Maybe all that tasing and retinal scanning. That's all. He's a little guy. Who knows? You never know. All right. Private military is already in the server room. We storm in and take them out. Look up what Karma is in the database. We look up and find Karma is the girl Harper ran into earlier.
I thought
we
it was just that Karma is my cat, but sure, maybe it's the girl too. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it knows. We find
For
out
all
she-
our Swifty fans, I'm sorry, Preston.
I was say, speaking of Alex's cat, so for
So,
video,
just so everyone
people-
knows, I'm not really looking at you guys. I got the notes here. You guys are over here, so every once in a while I occasionally have to look over. I'm noticing the cat here and there, but I'm not always.
So for video people,
Oh, over there? I didn't see him.
yeah.
Oh,
so
now I see him. Very
the-
cute. That's adorable.
There's something that people should know about both Mary and Pippin. Only one of them is in frame right now, but both Mary and Pippin both have this, and it's something that as soon as he came into the room, it is unique to the two of them where you can see on their face when they're about to do something or like they're thinking about getting into something that they know they're not supposed to be doing, but they're gonna do it anyway. And there's a video portion. This is a few minutes back, but there's a video portion where Alex turns his head and is looking
Oh, did you
directly
see?
into the cat's eye, and you can see he's like, "Don't do it."
I was bracing. Well, you couldn't see my hands were bracing
Yeah.
my desk because he's 20 pounds. So
I know.
he was
They're
on.
both
He's on a
big boys.
chair.
They are both big boys.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Preston. He was on a chair like 4 feet away, and he looks at me. He starts leaning.
Yes.
And my first thought was, I'm staring at him because if you're jumping towards the computer, you're about to see me slide off screen and bat him away because it's too heavy to jump on the desktop,
Yeah.
right? Like I was gonna bat him. And then I realized he's going to jump on the desk, so now I'm bracing the desk because I know he's going to hit it and everything's going to shake.
Because a
and that's what he did.
20-pound bowling ball is about to hit your desk.
And that's what he did when he ran across the camera. He jumped on the desk and I was holding it. But yeah, I was
just so
staring
funny.
directly at him like, what are you about to do?
Because both Mary and Pippin have this, where they have this look in their face where you can see, like, and it was funny. Before he came around, there's a moment where he was just staring directly into the camera, and he's just sitting back there, and I'm looking at him, and then you see him staring, and his head kind of turns a little bit, and I was like, oh, he plans on fucking with something, and then sure enough, he walks right by, and I was like, yep, it's just something about those
Yeah,
cats,
Alex,
man.
I don't know how much you actually watch the YouTube versions, but I've had to censor your cat's butthole a couple times.
yeah, I
It
mean,
just gets right. No, he gets right in that camera. I'm like, I don't feel like staring at this. And the thing is that I have to stare at it because I'm editing it. So I'm like, okay, well, I gotta follow
So-
it with the fucking cat
so it's-
emoji.
The cats are always locked out of the room. They only make their way in when Allie opens the door. So I asked Allie to, hey, come get Winnie because I think she's ready to go out of the room. So you saw back there, she opened the door and then took him out and let him back in. When she let him back in, Pippin came in with her. And so
Yeah.
same with Winnie. Whenever you see her butthole on the camera, it's because she accidentally let one of the cats in.
That's fine.
I always lock them out for that reason, and for the reason because they screw with shit all the time.
The cats. All right. So yeah, like I mentioned before, Karma is the girl Harper ran into. We find out she is in Club Solar, and we head that way, taking dudes out. Once in the elevator, we see Harper's vid, and he has found Karma. trying to tell her that she needs to go because the terrorists are out to get her. This lady has to be freaking the fuck out because some dude just randomly comes up to her looking crazy, saying that the terrorists are out to get her.
Half burnt
He's also
face.
yelling. He's yelling this like on a whole dance floor, and everybody else is just like doing the GTA like dance by themselves. Like I
The
can't hear a
music's
thing.
loud.
The music's loud.
Okay.
We start
The
taking
music's
out
loud.
troops in a fun scene going between pillars. Nope, went a little too far there, Preston. We found out she is in the club. We head that way, taking dudes out. Once in the elevator, we see Harper's vid, and he has found Karma, telling her he needs to take the terrorists out. Take her out because the terrorists are out to get her. We slowly walk into Solar with some 6 Skrillex playing. We find Karma / Chloe. DeFalco comes in and just starts fucking killing hostages. He grabs his lady, starts yelling out for Chloe. Since Chloe doesn't respond, he kills her. Grabs another hostage immediately until Chloe reveals herself. We start taking out some troops in a fun scene going between pillars and Harper, kind of do a little bit of slow-mo here and there, which I thought was fun. DeFalco has Chloe / Karma, and we find out that he is taking her to the drone planes. DeFalco and the militia end up blowing up the explosives. So we have to escape here, and then we have to get into a security room with some weapons. One being a shock knuckle. Did anyone actually use the shock knuckle?
No, I picked it up, and then I
I-
was
I
like,
got-
I'm never going to use this.
So
and
I
put
used
right
it
back
once. So I'm like, let's just find out what it does. As soon as you hit somebody, that enemy starts vomiting.
Oh.
So you shock knuckle him, and he's like, "Ugh." I'm like, I'm not using this again. I'll put that away. Okay, all right.
It would have been cooler if you just like shot him across the room or something.
Or he starts
but
doing like
Yeah.
this, or maybe doing like
Vomiting.
that.
vomiting's kind of funny, I guess.
You know what? We all know we
For
want to.
vomit knuckles.
Siphon Filter showed us what we want from a taser every time. Is we want to tase somebody, and we want to tase them so much that they catch fire. That is the cool way to tase somebody. So, as like I said earlier, Skrillex, some fun fighting. We pick up the gloves, or whatever the fuck they are, knuckles, and then we find out that he is taking her to the plane. DeFalco meant to blow up explosives. We need to fight our way towards DeFalco. I did not make it in time, and he ended up taking her. Did anyone
So-
save Chloe?
I didn't think you
I
could.
didn't even know that was a thing. What?
I was-
No, I saved her.
You can catch up to DeFalco and save her.
Oh, really? No,
Mm-hmm.
You saved her, Christian? I did not.
Dude, I
get there
skipped
fast.
that. I sped run that whole mid.
I was sitting there.
Dude,
I was sitting there
I did-
shooting
I did
people, and I'm
too,
like,
and it
I'm like,
was-
okay, I'm shooting them, trying to get through the waves. I'm like, okay, well, I'm assuming we're gonna finish this wave and go after him. And then like his name starts to blink. I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, all right, fuck this. I just start running, and I get up to them like just in time for me not to save her, essentially. And they both get on the plane.
Yeah, I ran the whole time, except for one time I stopped to open a little garage for a robot. That's the only time I stopped.
So I did
and
that too. That's so funny.
I
Yeah.
sped run the whole time, but I got Preston's like flashy thing, and when
No,
I
I opened
ran
the
up,
thing. I let the little
They're
robot
gonna-
out, but I just kept running. But there's a section to the stairs, so he started blinking for me too. But I think that happens no matter what.
I think when he
But,
gets close enough
there's-
to the planes, yeah.
There's a section that you can run where you don't hit anybody. So it's like when you come up, you go straight forward, and you're in that little courtyard. You go left. I think it's left twice. No, left, right, and then left to like
I
right
went
back
like the
around.
whole time, yeah.
And it makes it so that you avoid all of the little regular robots or whatever.
Oh, okay.
You run right behind the people that are on the stairs. You go right up. I turn the corner, and then he's right there. And I yell I'm like, DeFalco! And then he turns around. He's like,
happens.
okay, we'll kill him instead. And then he comes and kills him. So yeah, no, I rescued. Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
thought that was how
I'm
that
not-
mission went. I didn't know
So,
that you could fail
Alex, if we want to save her, we need to
don't.
do the second chance Strike Force mission to get the good ending. I'm not going to say how or why
Go.
the good ending is, but if you want to rescue her, you get a second chance. And the mission is
I
gonna
say
be
you
called
should
Second
do
Chance.
it, and I'll
I'm
just
gonna
do
try
what
to
I'm
do it,
good.
yes.
I'll do what I'm good at.
But hey,
Just
I only
straight
get one
to
shot
that.
at it. It's not like I can keep trying and then eventually save her. I get one shot at that second chance strike mission, and if I don't get it, I'm screwed.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah,
wild. I can't
this is
believe-
not the only person to where like whether they're live or dead or something like that, to where that might change a little bit of the way the narration ends.
I'm happy for you, Christian.
Yeah, good job, buddy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I did something. But you know what? I'll say this. That is,
Part par for the course.
That's impressive. That's cool this game has all those little things that can happen, I guess.
Yeah.
It also worked out in the exact way that it always works out for us when things like this happen, where Christian did it and I
Christian's
failed
gonna
it,
get the
so
good
it's-
ending. We're gonna get the bad ending. Yeah, it's just what's gonna
We're
happen.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So it's,
I was not
that's-
trying to be very clear.
No, you're fine. We're not exactly trying to get the bad ending. We just do it. But yeah, no, that's the end of part 1. If anyone has any final thoughts or anything they want to add before
So-
we get out.
I'll add this. I'll give my thoughts in a second, but I'll just add this for this level specifically in the game as a whole. Like, the game is dark and violent, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get it a lot more. Like this, Black Ops specifically seems darker than modern warfare games, right? Like, there's a lot of
Or even compared to like Battlefield or something like that, they're a little more violent.
no.
and realistic.
But I even mean like the other Call of Duty
Oh, sure.
standard
Mhm.
series. Like, it's darker than the Modern Warfare 1 and 2, like, and all that stuff. I can forgive a lot of things. The blood, the blood anger that the guy had running around macheting people. Like, I
chopping
get
off
it,
arms,
you know.
blood spurting places. Yeah, whatever.
But like, I get it because he was so angry and like he thought they'd kill his sister. I get it, all that. It was specifically the dance club scene. I thought they went a little too far. Like, he grabs
Just straight
two women
killing.
in the head, like instant, like no thought, no question, no. You don't have to show everything. You can imply things, but like this game just straight up shows, and then they open fire to the people in the club, and this was the scene specifically. I was like, a hair too far. Like, I could have done without.
Here's what I would say. I think so. No, in general, I agree with you. And I think in general, for storytelling purposes or whatever, I think it's better to
violence. Yeah.
I think it's better to, let audience imagination do the work for you as opposed to overtly showing somebody, right? Like,
Have something in the shadow or something like that. Just
yeah. I think
make
it's
it
better.
so-
I think it's better for storytelling when you do that in general. But it was actually it's funny that you bring that up, Alex, because that scene for me was like, oh right, they're stuck in a creative hole where they are always going to be known as the franchise that brought you No Russian.
Yeah.
That's
They
And
have
so
to
you-
do something to.
You have to. You
Get
have
the
to.
news
Because if you
article.
don't, if you don't, then it's not going to generate the right amount of buzz, or it's not going to do this. You have to be known as the people that always, because I'm one of those people. I think even though people always tout it as like one of the most important, or one of the more important moments in gaming history, I think No Russian is an awful
Yeah,
thing.
no,
I'm like,
it's
that's
awful.
It's just-
I don't need that.
They
Torture
say I'm
scene
getting
in Grand
soft
Theft
in
Auto
my
5.
old age or whatever, but it's just in society and the day we live in, and it wasn't that different just 10 years ago, right? It
No,
wasn't that
back
much-
then I still felt the
it's-
same way. When somebody
it's
showed
just
that
a
to me and they
lot.
were like, "Dude, how cool is this?" I was like, "This is not cool at all." I was like, "This
Yeah.
is weird."
It was
But-
so
much.
the club
it's a
scene was a bit
personal
too far
preference
for
thing.
me.
I feel the same way about things that are overtly violent for no reason. About like I feel the same way about Invincible. I know people really like Invincible, but I think the only thing that show does is try to be edgy for edgy's sake.
There's
and
a
show,
torture scene in Grand Theft Auto 5 that's known to be like just going way too over the top. There's
Yeah.
no reason that you needed to have that.
There's a lot of things like that. So, but yes, I agree with you. It's so funny that they do it, but I had a reaction to that scene where I was like, Jesus Christ, and then I
Yeah.
went, oh right. I was like, it's because this is
Call
the
of Duty.
studio that did
Yeah.
No Russian. They have to. They're going to do this. They will always be trying to top
Get more
themselves
press.
in
Yeah.
that way.
People
Yeah.
talking about it. Yep. They
Yes.
sell
That makes
numbers go
sense. That makes a lot of sense. As a whole, like I said, there were times where I thought this game looked very pretty. I thought
I'm enjoying the game. Obviously, the gameplay itself is Call of Duty is very good with gun gameplay. All right, it's gun combat. They do really well at it. The small little things added additionally here and there, it's whatever. I think the voice acting is great. I think some of the animations on the faces are even better than some games that come out nowadays that I've mentioned before, like Star Wars Outlaws. I'm looking at you. If Call of Duty Black Ops can do a decent amount of fucking facial animations, why can't you for your main characters? It's ridiculous. But I thought that there's a lot. I mean, obviously, this is them at their peak. They have a lot of money to put into it. They're getting name drops of Gary Oldman and fucking Sam Witwer and shit like that.
Yeah.
They're getting people in there, but it's really good. I think it's high quality. There's a couple things in here I think it's a little weird, but overall, I think it's a good game.
I I'm not yet ready to say it's a good game. I'm not.
I think so
yet
far,
ready
I'm
to say
enjoying
it's
myself
not a
just
good
fine.
game.
I'm confused a little bit, but
But,
that's me jumping into a
yeah.
sequel game.
Yeah, but like I do think it's pretty. The gunplay is good. Honestly, I will say I was actually surprised by the multiplayer at how well it held up and how it
Black
felt
Ops
when
is
I
known to be
hopped
one of
in.
the best of the Call of Duty multiplayers.
The story right now is right on par with my mental bar that I set going into
Sure.
it. So I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed at all. But I'm not overly excited yet either. So like it's fine. I'm ready to keep going. I do hope that scene in the dance club is the only one that gets that much, because like I said,
We'll
the rest
see.
I can write
A
off
couple
as
missions,
a
yeah.
war game. I
think
get
there's
it,
a
but that
strong
was
chance that it's not. But
we'll see.
I think I feel like as we're talking about it with some of the little things that you mentioned, Preston, that I didn't know about, it actually does make me appreciate some of it a little bit more. And then whether or not people take this as a negative thing or a positive thing, I don't know. But that last level, when we're going down the elevator and we're seeing like the little, oasis area, like the pool and the little sandy beach and the whole thing, it made me very, very nostalgic for the Xbox 360 era. And I was like, fuck, I kind of want to just play a 360 game. Like,
Yeah.
I want to just like it, and I don't know which one, and I don't know if I will, but it immediately made me think like, I want to go back and play a game from this era, like just
Good
Dude,
era.
immediately.
that's what the multiplayer did for me. Like I thought I was gonna play it and delete it. I just left it on. Like I even hopped in. I was gonna hop in right before you got on, Christian, because you were late. But it said like Preston was on or something. I was like, okay, I'll go open something else. But like, yeah, man, like there's some stuff that still does kind of hit, which is pretty
It's
funny.
highly regarded for good reasons, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, cool. Well, that is part one. So we're finishing the game next time, yeah?
Yeah, finishing the game. I think there's like one or
Okay.
two less levels. We'll be getting through it just fine.
There's one less from my count when I looked.
Yeah, is there?
Yeah.
So we're gonna play it to the end. We'll see how it goes and where it ends here. It's something. So it's a fun. It is so far. It's been a fun retrospective of the 360, which all
I think
also
about is our
enjoyed.
playthrough of Black. I'm like, man, that game is fucking trash.
It was
Straight
a console
It
generation.
was
It was like a
generation
generation and a half.
But man, after playing those
before,
back to back
but-
as far as shooters, it's like that is
Yeah.
a wild difference.
Yeah, I mean, we could go to the original like Call of Duty World War II ones and see how they hold up too. But
Probably still better than Black.
So
I think
anyway.
it's probably about this. I bet it's probably comparable to Black, but
That's fair.
So, thank you everybody for hanging out with us. Don't forget to check out Preston on Sundays with Star Wars Sundays. What you had stuff to do this weekend. I did not get to watch you this week because
Yes,
I
Dog
logged on.
Rumors happened, so
You were late.
therefore,
Okay.
yes, I was a little late, but I did play through a good 2 or 3 hours.
Okay,
dude,
Christian,
I was in
pretty
a
out.
weird hydrocodone morning that morning, so I just had really bad pain that night. And so I woke up and I was like rubbing my eyes and then looking at the clock again because I had Twitch open and you weren't on. And I was like,
What time is it?
am I late or am I early? And I look at the time. I'm like, no, it says 9 o'clock. I was like, he should be on right now. I look and I'm like, but am I looking at the right thing? And that's when I texted you and I was like, what is going on?
I don't use the social media that much, so I didn't feel like posting that I was going to be late. And then usually no one is like sitting there waiting for me. But
oddly, funny enough, Christian and I were both because I was here at the computer.
Yeah.
I had GDQ up on the iPad, and I was pulling up a game. Like, I had a game on half the screen, and I was like, "I'll just wait till he gets on." You know, I was like, "Okay."
We'll wait that day.
So check out Preston on Sunday with Star Wars Sundays, and then of course we'll be back next week with a brand new episode, and then part 2 and the final part of Call of Duty Black Ops 2. So with that, everybody, thanks for hanging out with Preston. You know what to do.
Josephine!
Maybe you should shoot up.
Thank you for listening to another episode of The Testing Room. To catch up on past episodes or to check out the newest ones when they drop, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcast. If watching is more your thing, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/@thetestingroom, or watch us live on twitch.tv/testingroomlive. To leave comments or ask questions, you can follow us on Instagram @testingroompod, leave a comment on YouTube, or send them in to testingroompod@gmail.com. See you next time.